Welcome back. You're listening to the Cindy Laverty Show on CRN Digital Talk Radio. It's great to be with you today and every Friday. The show has replays on the weekend on Saturday from 2 to 3 p.m. and Sundays 8 to 9 a.m. and that's Pacific time. And Fridays always from 10 to 11 a.m. If you're in LA and you're facing Carmageddon, just stay home. Just stay home this weekend. You don't have to go anywhere. The beach will survive without you. My guest is Carol Sanker, and we're talking about living your dream, finding your personal uniqueness, and getting over the things that hold us back, which is really the essence of fear. You can find Carol at carolsanker, SANKAR.com. Right, Carol? That's your website.
Yes, it is.
Okay. So before the break, we were talking about self-sabotage. And now you talk in your book a little bit and on your website. I've read your blog and stuff. What's the difference between chasing the money and chasing the dream? Because I think this is a big sticking point for people.
Chasing the dream usually leads to the money. And
right.
Chasing the money means you're not really following the dream.
And how important is this?
It is essential because if you're chasing your dream, it will always lead to everything that you're passionate about being able to pay off.
Right.
When you're only chasing money, people know it, and it shows, and usually that's the guy who loses the most because not only is he losing some of his soul, he's also going to lose the respect of his quote-unquote clientele. So it's always essential that if you're actually trying to get your business up and running, that you actually chase your dream and not the money. And I learned that very hard my first time around in business. That the first time I tried to chase the money.
Yeah.
And I ended up it's not a good feeling when everything kind of calms down. It's a better feeling when I chased my dreams and the money followed. It came following and found me somehow.
Okay, yeah, that makes so much sense, and I think that's where people get themselves in a lot of trouble is when they're doing that. You also say in the book that you were bullied by corporate America for a paycheck. This is such an interesting way of putting this, and yet it's true.
I
read your book.
I see. When I wrote that, I wasn't sure if I should put that word in there, and it was a word that kind of kept coming back, like, should I say bullied? But that's how I felt. I would get up every morning at a certain time, have to be there by a certain time. I remember one of the worst experiences I've ever had in corporate America was I was actually pulled aside, and I've been working as a paralegal for a long time. I was pulled aside by my office manager and sent home because of perfume.
What?
They sent me home for perfume. They claimed that some of the other staff members were complaining that my perfume was making them sick, and it was making them sneeze. But you want to hear the ironic part? I don't wear perfume because I'm allergic. I didn't know what the conversation was. So finally, I said, I am smiling because I need a paycheck. I'm smiling at someone sending me home and telling me about my hygiene when I just took a shower and came here because I need a paycheck so bad. I'm willing to put up with this.
Right.
There comes a point where the level of tolerance I'd given up. And, it was things like that I had realized it was time for me to do something about this. But again, every time I try to make a move, I try to talk myself back into staying. Right. Because I thought that this was normal. Well, everybody must be going through this.
Well, I think most people are going through this. I certainly was in that position. I was a single mom raising my daughter, and I took a lot of grief from corporate America over things that, I didn't understand at all. And then what happens, I don't know if this happened for you, but what happened for me is that I would leave feeling really bad about myself.
Yeah. Yeah.
But if you want to take that leap and you want to live your dream and you want to find your own uniqueness and because we're all born with a unique personal gift, making the leap to do that is kind of scary also. So So how do people prepare for that?
You always have to have the exit strategy. You have to write down the exit strategy long before you say that this is the last day I'm going to be here. And I had written mine down prior to being laid off. And what my exit strategy entailed was the last day I was actually going to put up with this job. It entailed all of the finances that I needed in order for me to be able to make my household expenses. And it also entailed me having a clear strategy about how long I can actually live off of my reserves. So I had to have a certain amount of savings, a certain amount for my household, and a certain date that I was saying this is no more.
So you planned for that. Do you coach people on how to plan for this?
Yes, I go through a whole transitional phase with people who are interested in leaving their job. And sometimes it may take a year, just based on we have to get through a financial planning. It's not just about, I have a dream and I'm going to leave.
Right.
You may have a mortgage to pay. I want you to be realistic. You may have a mortgage
we're not
to
telling,
pay.
I don't want to get any emails from people saying, you told me to just go quit my job, because we did not tell you to do that.
No, I want you to plan. Everything in life is about how you plan it. So plan it out. No, don't get me wrong. My layoff wasn't planned. But ironically, it came at a time when I was already putting the foundation down on Plan B. So I had already had my 5 to 9, and I always had a 5 to 9. After I got off of work at 5, I had a separate career. I was working at night.
Right.
So, get the transition going. And the transition really involves your finances.
Yeah, and action helps move the thing forward. Carol, thank you so much for being here with me today. I really appreciate your time. You were great.
Thank you so much for having me.
Check Carol's book out at carolsanker.com, and hopefully you'll come back with us again. Stay with us. I'll be right back.